Hey, good afternoon, Top fans. Bill from TopFanRivalry with another Clubhouse, another new addition to the Clubhouse. I want to welcome Jordan, a Houston Astros fan. Jordan, thanks for joining the Clubhouse.
Hello, everybody. Thanks, Bill, for having me on today. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, no problem. We're excited to have you. Jordan runs a very well-known fan base site on Instagram. He's got almost 5,000 followers on his Instagram account. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So Jordan is a huge enthusiast of the Astros, according to him, and I'll let him tell you this later, how many games that he watched this season. But let's just dive right into it, Jordan. So we know by process of elimination, I can tell by the hat that you're a Dodger fan, right? That's your favorite team?
Oh, no, not at all.
Who's your favorite team, Jordan?
No, yeah, I'm a big Houston Astros fan. One reason being that, it's where I was born and where I grew up. So over the years growing up, we would go to at least one game a season. And as you know, before we got into the American League, we were in the National League, we were like just the absolute worst, except for 2005 when we went to the World Series. And I think we got swept against the White Sox. It doesn't matter, just being from Houston, we were always supporting the team, even when they sucked. And once they crossed over to the dark side, 2013, that's when they went to the American League, and then little by little started getting better. And now they're pretty good, but doesn't matter if they're good or not. I'm always gonna love the Astros.
So see, you're an Astros fan. You've had an experience growing up as a kid watching them. I grew up in Orange County, California, so I was closer to Angel Stadium. Somehow or another, I ended up as a Dodger fan. But I have to tell you, Jordan, I probably went as a kid to, I don't know, 5 or 10 either Dodger or Angel games. Baseball's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I've never had an experience at like any other ballpark. I've been to a lot of other sports games, but Minute Maid Park is pretty much where I spend like most of my time watching baseball, and it's really fun. Even if you're not paying attention to the game, being at the ballpark is definitely just like a very lively experience.
Okay, so now tell me, did you? I'm super grateful, but tell me how glad you were when they got rid of that little hill in center field.
The hill was interesting. It was interesting to watch somebody run up there, which we felt like sometimes it was pretty rare to even go that far because the ball has to travel so far to get there. But like once you get there, it's like, okay, it's funny to see, are they gonna trip? Are they gonna like hit the pole? And then once they got rid of it, it was interesting. Like we had mixed emotions about it. We're like, I'm glad that it's gone, but then like that thing was kind of special about the stadium. Like nobody really had the ground going up. Like everybody has a different style field, but like nobody really had it going up. But I don't know, I guess it's safer now. It's a lot safer.
Yeah, I have to tell you, the first time I ever saw that, I was it was, I don't know, it was a Tuesday night or Wednesday night. I think the Angels were, because we only get the local stuff, Angels Dodgers here, right? So the Angels were playing in Houston, and I was like passed out tired. It was a long day, whatever. And I'm coming, you know how you fall asleep on the couch and you wake up, and you're like, and I'm watching this fly ball go, and I'm watching this guy run up a hill, and I'm like sitting there going, what's going on? Am I seeing this right? So I'm rewinding it, waking up, checking my eyes, and realizing there's a hill in center field. What
Yeah,
in the world is this?
wasn't that bizarre?
Yeah,
I
it
was like,
was.
who came up with it? I don't know. But it's very interesting, like the way that every like stadium is a little bit different, you know.
Yeah.
I personally kind of like that.
I have to tell you, there's a couple of ballparks, and Minute Maid's one of them that I want to go to that look fun. Like PNC Park in Pittsburgh. I mean, that looks like a great stadium.
Yeah.
The Phillies ballpark at Minute Maid. I mean, they all look like great stadiums to go to.
And Fenway, I think that one's always going to be on the list. I have not been there, but I would like to go to Fenway. It looks pretty cool.
I've taken the tour. You can take a tour there. Back when I went, it was like $17. They take you through the locker room. They take you through like up on the Green Monster. I mean, they take you to the
Yeah.
one red seat, which is the longest home run. So Boston fans, if you're watching this, correct me if I'm wrong, send me a message. It's okay. But I think it happened. I want to say it happened in the 40s. A guy ditched work and he fell asleep in a doubleheader, and he got hit in the head. His wife didn't know that he was at the game, and somebody like he fell asleep and the ball hit him in the head, knocked him out. He had to go to the
Oh my God.
hospital in between the first game and the second game, and they marked it as the one red seat. So that's the farthest home run. And David Ortiz is quoted as saying, like he thinks that they keep moving that seat back every year, but they don't. And so it's just kind of a folklore to
Oh
the
my God.
stadium.
That's
So
insane. I don't think I've ever heard that one.
yeah,
It
baseball
sounds like
history.
something that will happen to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, honey. Can you come pick me up at the hospital? Where were you? That's not important. But
And then take me back for the second part of the double.
yeah, take me back to the second game. Yeah. Okay, so tell me, obviously you're an Astro fan.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite player?
I gotta go with Jose Altuve. I mean, he's been with the Astros since 2011. So basically, he's been with us since we were nothing. And yeah, I mean, really, well, he had like 23 postseason home runs, second all time. He's a really great guy, like in general. Like, I don't know if you ever talked to him or like see his interviews. He's just like super genuine, um, like super humble. He could probably think that he's the best or whatever, but he doesn't really think anything like that. He really loves the game a lot. And I know a lot of those players from like I don't know if you know, it's like a lot of like Central American players. They just have like the love for the game, and I think that's common among the Astros and some of the other teams. Like all these players just coming from different parts of the world, just for the love of baseball, and I see him as one of those guys.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I actually watched, there was a documentary on, gosh, a couple of seasons ago. It was pre the drama that, has, circused or focused, I should say. And it was really interesting, his workouts in the off season when he goes home to his country and how he works out. And I fell in love. I got to tell you, I like Jose Altuve. I do. Regardless of what, is said, yes or no about him. I think he plays the game right. He doesn't show up to, you don't hear about him out all night, different women and things like that. He respects himself. He respects the game, and he plays it right. He plays it hard. And for a little guy like that, there's no reason why that little guy should be hitting those bombs that he hits, right? And we
Yeah.
know he's not on steroids. He's a good hitter. He just knows how to hit the ball.
Hmm.
And so, he's the one guy that if I were facing him, I'd be like, let's just give him 4 pitches and let's just walk him, because you don't know
Uh-huh.
what he's gonna do.
And who is it that we just messed up with Eddie Rosario?
Yeah,
Yeah, they kind of like remind me of each other. They're both like little guys, big hearts, and big bats.
yeah. The uh what's his name? Dustin Pedroia from the Red Sox from a couple of years ago. He and Altuve remind me of each other, except for Altuve has more power. They just lace them up every day. They show up to the ballpark. They're happy. They're jovial. They sign autographs. They're not the guys that are oh, don't worry about it. Get away from me. No, let's go. Let's sign some autographs. Let's see what we can do.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
tell me which ballparks you've been to.
Yeah, I think it's just Minute Maid, like as far as like the major league. And then they actually have one of the old teams that would work with the Astros for like scouting was the Round Rock Express. I believe they're like a AA or AAA team
Okay.
here in Round Rock, Texas. Not too far from where I'm at, but yeah, so that they had a nice little stadium that they just built, and it had like like a pool in the back and slides and like this like little virtual home run derby thing in the back. So it was cool, that little stadium in Round Rock. And then a Minute Maid, I've been there like I don't know 50 to 100 times.
So, have you ever been to the Astrodome?
I've been to the Astrodome, but not for like a sports game. It was for like something else, like a concert or something.
Okay.
But yeah, the NRG right next to the Astrodome, and then
I've always wanted to see the Astrodome. As a
Really?
little kid, there was a movie called The Bad News Bears, and they
Oh
filmed
yeah.
it in the Astrodome. And I ever since that I wanted to
Oh
go to the
really?
Astrodome, but at least a concert, I don't care. I just want to go to the Astrodome, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, it was actually pretty cool to see it. I was very young when I went, but yeah, it was pretty cool. And we sometimes still drive past it when I go see my parents. So yeah.
There you go. Okay, so tell me, obviously both of our teams, by the way, when you get out to the West Coast, um, Chavez Ravine, Dodger Stadium is probably outside of Fenway and Wrigley. Well, first of all, those are the three oldest ballparks still standing, right?
Hmm.
Is first Fenway, then Wrigley, and then LA. But when
Hmm.
you get out here, going to a game at the Ravine, going to a game at Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine, is an
Hmm.
experience. Even as a different fan, it's an experience because it's so old and there's so much history to it. So you got to make yourself get yourself out to the West Coast sometime. Let's go to a game. It'll be a good time. It'll be a
Yeah,
good time.
I don't mind. I mean, if you're cool with me wearing my Astros gear, I'm totally down.
Hey, I can't protect you, but I'm cool with it. No, she's
I'll bring a shield with me. So
there you go. There you go. So tell me what the playoff run was like for you guys this season. I mean, obviously you guys, I'm sorry you fell short, right? And I was
yeah.
hoping for a rematch between the Dodgers and Astros, but tell me what
Yeah.
the energy was like in the city and just,
Hmm.
I mean, tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy that we went. I mean, I spent most of the season just like watching every game that I could. I mean, obviously there was some games that I couldn't watch, but every day I'm like looking at the score, looking at the highlights of every game. So I knew from the beginning of the year, just seeing how we were playing again, I'm like, okay, this looks like the Astros from the past 5 years. I mean, like nothing had changed much. And like, look, new faces on the field here and there. Some players get injured, but I'm like, no, we definitely have what it takes, especially with Dusty Baker. I feel like he really put us in the position that we needed. It was tough at the getting towards the end. Like you could see a little bit of the inconsistency going on. Like win a couple games, lose a couple games, win a couple games, and that happens. But going into the playoffs, like you have to be on point. I mean, I think that the Braves did a really good job just staying on point, getting all those W's. For the Astros, it looked like we were just getting a little tired out there. I mean, it's exciting, like being a fan and knowing that we could possibly win again. And we want to win really bad, but there was a lot of factors that went into play and why we lost. And at the very end, it was definitely very heartbreaking. Like probably shed a tear.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, the energy was a roller coaster.
I've been there, my friend. I've been there.
And we would
So
have loved to see you guys again. I would have loved to see the Dodgers again. But I feel like if we played the Dodgers, maybe we would have played a little bit better. I don't know.
giddy up. Let's do it next season. Let's do it next season. So here's some fun facts that you may or may not know about Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker started his career where? Do you know?
No, I don't.
In Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
When a
Yeah, yeah.
guy named Henry Aaron hit his 715th home run, the on deck batter was Dusty Baker.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. I know that there was like a lot of history. I know he's been in the league for like a long time. But yeah, that was pretty interesting to see going from there to here, and another year with the Astros. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's a great manager. He he loves the game and he plays it very old school and he plays it right, right? And so some people don't do that. And one of the things that I really liked about your club, I and it drives me nuts watching another team do this because this is the way that I was raised. But you guys will lay down bunts. You guys will hit and run. You guys will put runners on the move where unfortunately this season teams like the Dodgers were trying for the home run ball, right? Where you guys, and it didn't matter who was up, Correa would bunt. Like I've seen Altuve bunt. And we've talked about this before. Altuve is one of the best, players out there right now. But
yeah.
right. So I like that. I like that. So tell me, what are you looking forward to? Obviously, Spring training starts in like 90 days or so, right? And who's counting? But what are you looking forward to most in
Work, big time.
exactly looking for most in 2022?
Um, I want to see, like, what's very interesting to me in baseball is like some of the trades that go on. I want to see what happens with Carlos Correa. Um, we think that we're gonna lose him like 90%. I mean, like we offered him like the 5 years, 160 million, something like that. And that's like the biggest contract that we've ever offered any of our players. So for us to be like a championship team or just being in the championship 3 of the last 5 years, and having to see one of our big guys go away, I want to see where he's gonna go, and like if it's gonna be the Tigers, is it gonna be the Yankees, is it gonna be the Mets? We don't know. But it's a money ball for a reason, and maybe we'll pick up some new faces. Got some people coming off the injured list. I want to see what's going on in the NL, because I love watching AL baseball and they're always pretty solid, but I feel like the NL has been putting up more of a fight recently. Astros losing against the Nationals, Astros uh, playing the Dodgers, the whole what's going on with the Dodgers and the Padres and the Athletics. Like I want to see the California team. Sorry, I get it mixed up, but I want to see what goes on in the NL race,
Yeah,
and the California teams they're all doing pretty good.
yeah, they are, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the CBA, with the collective bargaining agreement. A lot of new rules could come out of it. They're talking about a universal designated hitter, right? So now you're talking about potentially having DHs in both leagues,
Yeah,
which will change some things up a bit. And the National League, I tell you, there's a lot of good teams out there, but I don't think, unless some major things happen, I don't think you have much of a challenge, except for maybe the Mariners if they can put a team together in the American League West. The Angels still haven't gotten their pitching under control. They've got a first ballot Hall of Famer and a center fielder, but they still don't have their pitching under control. Um, and the A's are who the A's are, right? Some years they're lights out, but they're about ready to lose some of their marquee players too.
yeah.
And so,
And
and the
what's going
Rangers
on
are,
with Laureano?
yeah, the Rangers are trying to make a splash, but and their splashes, they're trying to make it with Corey Seager. And I got to tell you, as much as I want Corey Seager back in Dodger blue, I don't want to pay him 7 years and 200 million because the guy hasn't pitched. I mean, I'm sorry, the guy hasn't played more than 90 games in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah,
So where Correa plays all the time,
yeah,
right? And so everything that I read though, unfortunately, says that Correa is probably leaving, and the most splash is in Detroit, right? Everybody thinks that he's going to Detroit. And
yeah. It
so
was just until like recently that I was looking today, and everything that I see like points to Detroit and like going over there with AJ Hinch. But I don't know him like teasing us, talking about he was talking about the pinstripes, like he would like to be seen in pinstripes, and then he visited New York. He was at Madison Square Garden. I was like, okay, why are you teasing us like this? I don't know what's going on. I mean,
just
I would not want to see him in a Yankees uniform, especially with all the hate that they give us and
yeah,
all the mess that they've been talking about him. And now everybody wants Correa. I'm like, okay, all the
yeah.
the talking mess, it's going away when they want our players.
Well, if I were a betting man, Jordan, if I were a betting man, because certain organizations have certain types of reputations, I would bet that he's not in pinstripes. I would bet he's not in Dodger blue, even though people have talked about him coming to both the Yankees, Dodgers, or Mets. I would bet you that he doesn't go to LA or New York just because of that history there. Um, Nobody's going to make a pass at him in the AL West because they just don't have the money for it. A's never spend money. Angels aren't going to spend money on the contract that Correa deserves to get, right? And so maybe the Tigers with AJ Hinch, but I forgot AJ's over there. So that's and they just signed Rodriguez to a 5-year, $77 million deal from Boston.
Oh yeah, I
And so
remember. I heard
that
about
just
that.
happened a couple hours ago. So
Mhm.
yeah,
And
it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
yeah, so that going on, and then I don't know. You never know with the baseball seasons. It's always a little bit different. So
Long season, long season. All
mhm.
right. So as we're wrapping up, my friend, so tell me, give me 30 seconds about the Astros in general, what your biggest fear is, maybe, and then also tell us your Instagram site, and any social media or any sites that you want to talk about, so that the Top Fan viewers can know who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're right now running the Astros Hotties account. So if you want to follow us on Instagram at Astros Hotties, we basically started off as a fan page. And now we're starting to post a little bit of everything now, both fans, like memes and stats. It's all things like Astros related, really. And yeah, it's been growing rapidly. Just in the past year, we got like close to 2,000 followers in the past year. So we expect that to go up a little bit more. We have a lot of fans messaging us like saying that they like our content. So it's me and another one of my family members that run the account. So and then as far as the Astros go, I'm always gonna be a diehard Astros fan, whether we win or lose. I expect another playoff run. If we can't get our pitching together, then one of my biggest fears is that we're just gonna keep going all the way to the 1 yard line and not really coming through. That would really suck if that happened. But if we can get it together, if we can have Bestie Baker with a solid plan, solid pitching, and everybody on point with a nice batting average, just like we did this past year, um, I think that we're in for another World Series. But we'll see. Go Astros.
There you go Astros. Well, Top Fans, I hope you've enjoyed this. This is Jordan. He's the first time in the clubhouse. Jordan, you did amazing, and we'd love to have you back another time. So feel free to Top Fans, like this video, subscribe, go to the Instagram page for Top Fan. We'll have it up there. Also go to Jordan's Instagram page, where it's a fan based page, Astro Hotties, and check that out. It's got some great stats on there. It's got some different things on there. So enjoy that. And Jordan, it's been great having you in the clubhouse.
Hey, thanks for having me, Bill.
You bet.